All right, so this is part 2 of day 85. Your chart for hamburger prices should look like this after it's been completely filled in. Notice that it's basically a repeating pattern. What is the rule for Matthew's cost? What did we do?
50 cents.
Plus 50 cents. Plus 50 cents. What did we do for Kylie? Plus 40 cents. Okay? All right. Now we're going to move to the graph. I'm going to go ahead and start with the x-axis. And we know that from making our ordered pairs that the x-axis is going to represent number of burgers. Remember that we're making a line plot, not a bar graph. So we need to make sure that our numbers are lined up with an actual line, not a space. Now, because we only purchased 10 burgers altogether, we have enough room to where we can spread our numbers out. It's a good way to do that. Oh, I might not have enough room. Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good way to do that so that way you can see your data a little bit better. All right, that works out. And notice how I even drew that extra little dark spot to make sure that my number was directly underneath the line. Now, with the y-axis, it's going to be a little bit different. If you notice on your y-axis, you have two different ending values. For our x-axis, both kids bought 10 burgers. So you could stop at the same number. But how much money did Matthew end up spending? $5. How much money did Kylie end up spending? $4. So they ended at two different amounts. So what you need to do is you need to think about what is going to be the best way. And Matthew's burgers cost different amount than Kylie's burgers. So again, we know that the x-axis is going to be, let's see, total spent. So I'm going to go ahead and label that. But now we have to figure out what's the best way to do it. So we could do 50 cents. We could do it that way. We could do it maybe, I don't know if we did 20 cents. If we did 50 cents, how many lines would we need? 10 lines. So you have to count and see if you have enough to do that. So let's go up and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we have enough that we could do it like this. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this line right here $1.
How many lines did you say?
What does each line represent if I skip 4 lines?
25 cents.
25 cents. Perfect. So what is this one going to represent?
50.
50 cents. So that means every 2 lines is going to be 50 cents. I think I have enough that we can do that.
All the way up to $10.
No. What's the max cost that we had? We didn't spend $10.
$5.
$5. So we should have enough. Hopefully. Again, notice how we are putting our number right beside a line, not a space. And I'm getting a little crooked, so this is the other reason why I sometimes put lines. So that means this will be $4. Well, the other thing is you want your numbers to be close to some of the values that you are graphing. You should be able to. Every 2 lines is 50 cents. I did, but that would be every dollar. I did skip 4 and that became $1, which means 2 lines is 50 cents. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to choose 2 different colors. And the other thing is don't graph both people and then connect the dots. Graph one set of data, connect the dots. Graph the other set of data. So let's do Matthew first, okay? So who can read to me the coordinates for Matthew? Michael? You can use the ones on the board if you want to.
Oh, so 1 and 50.
The first one.
Oh, 0 and
0, 0. All right. Then what do we have?
1 and 50.
Okay.
And then 2 and $1.
Okay.
And 1 or 3 and $1.50.
Okay.
And 4 and $2.
You're doing this along with me.
5 and $2.50. I don't know. And 6 and $3. 7 and $3.50. 8 and $4. 9 and $4.50. And 10 and $5.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this line. Now, you would probably rather use a straight edge. All right, so that represents Matthew. And I'm going to put an M over here so I can label that as Matthew. Now I'm going to switch colors. And I'm going to graph Kylie. Who can read to me the coordinates for Kylie? Akira?
Number 1, 40 cents.
No, there's one before that.
0.
0, 0. Okay?
40 cents.
1 and 40 cents. Now, I don't have 40 cents labeled on here. So where do you think I'm going to put 40 cents? A little bit under the 50. That's exactly what I'm going to do. All right, what about 2?
It would be 80 cents.
80 cents. So I'm going to put it above the 50, above the 75. I know each line represents a quarter. What about 3?
120.
120. So that was the line is 125, so I know it's going to be below the line. What about 4?
This one is 160.
160. All right, what about 5?
$2.
$2 even. So that helps. Oh, I messed up. I put it on the wrong spot. $2. All right, 6.
40.
Okay. 7.
80.
All right. 8. 9. And 10. $4 even. Now, you can see that my line is not necessarily going to be straight, and that's okay. But this is where you would probably use a ruler. And I'm going to put a K here for Kylie. Okay? You're not going to have the exact amounts for both patterns. I had to choose one, so I chose Matthew's pattern, and then I have to kind of estimate for Kylie's pattern. Does everybody see what I had to do? But because each one of my lines was worth 25 cents, it kind of helped with that. Okay? This is basically what you're going to be doing with your patterns. Now, the only other thing that you have is you're going to have some questions that go along with your patterns. And I'm getting ready to ask you some questions, and then for homework tonight, you're going to have mowing lawns. You have basically done your homework just using different numbers. So this will be on Google Classroom, and I'll leave it on yours too, so that way you can view it if you need to. Okay?